All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. Um, I'm going to try to make the attempt. And notice I said I'm going to try to make the attempt because today our attention is so divided. Um, we hear what we want to hear, or either we have heard based on what we already understand. And all these barriers, all these mental blocks make it very, very difficult to communicate to people the truth of the matter when you already have a preconceived ideal, you already have a preconceived notion, you already have a perspective and a viewpoint that is set in your mind. I make no apologies about it whatsoever at all, how I have the daunting task to try to do whatever I can to try to wake up a conscience that has been, I mean, trained and programmed in such a way that it is set harder than concrete. We have to understand here in this country, here in America, that we do not function the way that we should be functioning as human beings. The truth is, everything about us has been shaped around our environment, around the society that we've all been raised in. And we assume, and I'll say it again, we assumed. And I need for you to please try to hear me because I'm going to try to communicate. Now, I understand this. I understand that while I am communicating, I'm not going to be successful based on some people's perspective and viewpoint, but I will reach a few people. A few people will be able to come out of the matrix just on this video alone. They will start to consider and a lot of prejudices, that we have built up in the past. It's going to reach some people. It literally, truly is going to reach the people. Now, I'm only going to reach the people who exercise self-autonomy. I'm going to reach the people who think independently. I'm going to reach the people because, they themselves, when they listen, they actually are very attentive. They're not letting my words slip. They're not letting them fall to the ground. They are actually considering. They're using their own volition. And that's something that needs to be done. Now, think about this. From the time we come out of our mother's womb, we did not ask to be born in America. We did not ask to believe what we believed. We did not ask to function in this society the way we function. We did not ask to have the history of this country as the way that it is presented to us. We didn't ask for any of that. It was already set in place. It was already here. The structure of this country was already in place before we got here. And I want to say something for those of us who are in the resistance movement, if I can use that phrase or that term and be pure. The powers that be, they do what they do because they believe what they are doing is right. But that right that they're doing is based on their own personal paradigm. It is based on what they have been taught by those who come behind them. I mean, after all, if you're rich in this world, the last thing you want to do is give your riches over to the poor or to have somebody to subvert those riches or have somebody speak against your system that would take all these benefits away from you and give it to somebody else who you believe to be a lesser of a people simply because that's the way that you have been trained. I mean, after all, there are people out here who have a lot of money and they look down upon other human beings simply because of benefits and substance. And the truth is, the bottom line is, we all stink. Every single one of us, we stink. We're human beings. And a man's life, a woman's life, a man's life, it does not consist in the abundance of things that we have or what we amass here in this country. And it doesn't, wealth and material goods does not make us better than the next person. As a matter of fact, a benevolent heart and a sincere mindset would actually use the wealth that they have amassed to help those who are genuinely and sincerely in need. I said all that to say that the news media, and that's the reason why I call the TV set the one-eyed monster. The news media and everything that controls all sources of information that all of us continually, over and over and over again, have fed into our central processing unit, meaning our mind, is continually vying in this George Orwell's 1984 paradigm to keep us thinking and functioning after its mindset and its paradigm. If I say certain things, I'll give you an example. America's wicked. Okay, those of you who are proud to be Americans, and you know nothing about this country, all you know is what the country feeds you. You have not stepped outside the foot of this country. You have not looked at America from the outside in. You have built up prejudices, and there's nothing that can tear those prejudices down unless you go to another land, another place in this earth, another soil, and stay there for a little bit and begin to have your mind opened and begin to look at this thing from a world viewpoint. You know, I've traveled much in my life. I've done a lot of things. I mean, after I was a paratrooper in the United States Army for 10 years. And so I've seen a lot. And even outside of that, I still have traveled much and been many, many places. Met a lot of people. And I can tell you firsthand that I despise and I hate the spirit that this country breeds into the people of this country. I mean, it just flat out stinks. We have a way that we view things, we see things, and we think we're right, because that's what we have chose to believe, and we function after that. The news media has been instrumental, along with our federal school systems, you know, our public school systems that is under a federal curriculum, along with the religions of America. It has been instrumental in shaping what we believe to be right and what we believe to be wrong. And we are truly messed up as a people. And we actually think that when we think a thought or we have a perception that we're functioning the way we want. We have no idea. We have not even a clue. And I'm trying to keep all this as simple as possible. I'm not trying to use big, gigantic words, and most people do not understand, but at times I will have to. You would have to just go back and look up what the word means. I would have to in order to convey the thought that I'm trying to get over to us as a people. But we have been manipulated. We've been coerced to believe that the history of this country, the way that we view things religiously, in this West, we live in the West, we're in the West, we think from a Western perspective, a Western viewpoint, and a Western paradigm. We have actually believed that, and we do believe that we are right. And somehow, some way, we believe the people that are ruling this earth today, meaning the Europeans, they are literally ruling this earth. This is the Empire of Rome that is ruling this earth today. And so we're under their economic system, we're under their social system, we're under their political system. We're under all of their systems, their laws, their rules, their regulations, and that's what we're functioning after. How do you say this? I cannot say what this woman can say in this video below. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that this video is probably anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes long. But if you can get to a place to where you can not be disturbed and really truly listen to what this woman says, I think that it could be the start of your coming out of the deception and coming out of the matrix and starting to seeing things from a real true perspective. While I personally do not agree with the religion of the Muslims, I do not oppose them in their right to believe what they want to believe. Maybe the reason why I don't agree with a lot of things that religion presents is maybe because I simply have not explored certain areas and I may lack understanding. I may lack understanding, if you understand what I mean. So, but I do not go and attack them simply because this is what they choose to believe. I'm a Hebrew. And I believe that all the religions and faiths of the world actually come from my ancient fathers. And that's my belief. Yet at the same time, I do respect people. I don't dishonor people. I am benevolent, very benevolent towards people. Here in America, we have such a bad spirit towards each other. It's just so bad. We do not walk in love like we should. We do not walk in agape love. We do not walk in agapeo love. It's just so sad, the foul stench that comes from this country. But anyway, I think that I've said what need to be said, and if you can't hear me, it's none of my business. I can't make you hear me anyway. But I think that this woman right here would do more with her words than what I could do in this particular video right here. I'm thinking more than anything that the spirit in this country, the last thing it wants is people to be unified. Even if they disagree on certain points, the last thing they want people to attack each other. They want people to murder each other. They want people to hate each other. They want that. They don't want people to function in love. They don't want people to have respect for each other. And, I mean, I'm a pastor, and I have a lot of enemies out here. The reason why I have enemies is because I speak the truth. I make no apologies for it, and I speak it boldly and very frankly. And I really don't care if people agree or disagree. I'm going to get the truth out. And that truth didn't come because of the way I was raised here in America or the way that my mind has been shaped. Because most people, when you really truly look at it, everything in this country is based on emotion. Everybody's led by emotion. It's all emotion. No facts, no substance, no historical proof. All emotion, just based on what they feel. And your emotion is built on what you have accepted in the past. And most people would never get it. They will never get it, never understand it. But I would tell you this, you are free. And you have the right to believe what you want to believe. And nobody on this earth, whether they like it or not, they can disagree with you, but they have no right to hurt you or injure you or harm you, even with their words. They have no right to slander you, to defame you, to assassinate your character simply because you choose to believe this way. Now, they do not. They also have the right to not fellowship with you, and you have the same right to not fellowship with them. But that's just the way it is. But you know, the kindness that could come from us as a people, if we just function after what the book says, we would be all right. But you know, here is a white woman who is related to Tony Blair. And she has a very powerful testimony. I want you to hear what she has to say. I really, truly want you to hear. I'm going to include a link down here below. But it's going to need your undivided attention. Get your cup of coffee or a cup of tea or cocoa or water or whatever. Sit down, undisturbed. And please listen to what she's trying to say. You have to understand, I may have grown up in the West, but my heart and my history, the history of my people, is Eastern. And when I hear truth, it resonates in my heart and mind because I'm a Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew, a true Hebrew at that. Again, I'm not advocating for people to be Muslim because I'm not a Muslim myself. I'm an Israelite. But I think what I'm trying to do is get people to understand that there's a system in place that it pays for them to keep you deceived. And as long as this system keeps working, it's going to continue to cause death, hell, and carnage in this world. You need to understand that. You really, truly do. Give it ear and listen to what this woman has to say. And may the benevolent peace of the Most High Yah be upon each and every last one of you.